another MAPerformance build. This one's a doozy. We have the Honda Civic Type R. It means you got the red badges. It means you got the crazy arrow going on the car. This one's beautiful, but it's not stock either. Charlie, what do we have going on under the hood of this one?
So as you guys saw in some of the other episodes, you know, this car, like a lot of our cars, is in stage 2 configuration. So for us, that's the intake downpipe catback. We also have an intercooler in development, so that'll be coming really, really soon. We've been doing a lot of testing to make sure it's top notch.
Yeah.
But with that being said, aside from that, it also does have some HKS Hypermax coilovers. It has a radium catch can and coolant expansion tank. And outside of that, we've got a bunch of other parts that we're excited to put on here and test out. We've got a PRL P600 turbo sitting back there.
Baby.
We've got some new headlights, fog lights that'll be going in. A bunch of cool stuff, but yeah, so this car, again, basically some simple coilover modifications, bolt-on stuff, and right now it's doing some basic testing before we go and make this a little bit more gnarly.
Oh yeah, so this is your in-house brand intake that you have on here,
Yep.
along with the catback exhaust?
Yep, yeah, and so this is our V1 intake, so the first version of the intake that we made. We do have a plastic rotomolded V2 that'll be coming to market pretty soon.
Cool.
We're really excited about that. Again, we took a bunch of consumer feedback on this one and applied it to the V2, so you know it's nice to hear when companies actually listen to their customers. So this is a prime example of that. I think the only thing we haven't really covered is the wheels.
Yeah,
wheels
let's
and tires.
check it out. All right, so we're coming over to the wheels, tires, suspension. Like Charlie said in the beginning, we have HKS coilovers on this to get some nice fitment. It's obviously lowered and looks good. And then you come over to the raised gram lights, 57 Extreme Spec-Ds, which are a phenomenal choice for the Civic Type R. Pairing all that with the Nankang CR1s, these are 265, 35, 18, which really just bring a flush profile. You get some meat, that's a lot of meat for a Civic, and it looks damn good on this Type R. I absolutely love these wheels. One thing to note, white wheels without ceramic coating does not go hand in hand. We would suggest ceramic coating your white wheels because they are just a nightmare to keep clean. Coming back by the Civic booty, we got the MAPerformance catback exhaust, which is gonna give you still the 3 single tips coming out of the back end from the center, but they're gonna be a little bit larger. Not only that, but MAPerformance gives you the option to have a race exhaust or a muffled exhaust. So the race exhaust is damn loud. You got no muffler back there. The muffled exhaust, a little bit better for like daily driving if you're gonna be using the car more frequently and not just on the track. You're gonna wanna go with that. It still sounds really good. It's just not so blaringly loud. Okay, so we're in the Civic Type R. Now I am literally crawling in this snow right now because the Nankangs, although Charlie was telling me handle absolutely phenomenal on the track and are one of his favorite tires for the C1s, they're not meant for the snow. They're not meant for this -1 degree weather, all right? They're meant to be driven on a nice, hot, sunny day on the track where they can get some grip. But I'm excited because this is also, out of the entire fleet, Charlie's favorite car to drive. It's not the fastest, although it is pretty quick, but it's his favorite, and it just feels super planted. This thing feels like a race car, and I love it. So again, we have the bolt-on modifications with the Stage 2 tune, the MAP intake, exhaust. We're gonna see how it sounds just idling. It has a nice deep throaty sound to it. All right, let's get on it a little bit here and see how she I love the tone of the exhaust. I was interested to see, it's real deep and loud, but it doesn't drone too bad. Once you're at your cruising speed, it mellows out a lot. You're gonna see that a lot in turbocharged vehicles. And again, with a turbocharged vehicle, they're one of my favorite things to mod because you do these simple bolt-on modifications and it's like driving an entire new car. You get the car, you enjoy it, but then once you put on the intake and you start hearing those noises, you add the exhaust and then you tune it, it is just an entire new animal. And then adding the coilovers and everything like that, just stiffening it up, buttoning up the car and really bringing it together, you'll be happy for a long time just with some simple modifications like that. Now we are running some 265/35s on here like we talked about. So for the most part, absolutely no rubbing or scrubbing. If you're getting on a big bump or hitting it at a little bit higher speed, we were rubbing just a tiny bit in the rear. We probably could roll the fenders a bit more to get a bit more out of them. But we are pushing some meats on this thing. It is a tight fitment, but again, they're tracking this car and they've been driving it hard and haven't had really any issues, so you can get away with it. And getting 265s on the Civic is pretty impressive for the stock body and the fenders only being partially rolled. I would definitely suggest rolling the fenders fully, and then maybe pulling them a little bit, just ever so slightly. And make sure you take your time if you're gonna roll your fenders, or have a buddy, friend, shop, whatever, do it for you. It's not something you wanna mess around with. It's not something you wanna do super quick. Take your time, get it done right. All right, so if you need any wheels, tires, suspension for your Civic Type R or the performance mods from MAP that we talked about in this episode, make sure to check the link down in the description or head on over to fitministries.com. Bye.